Man, it has been a minute since I made a video, but I'm excited to be back. We're talking Davante Adams and the latest clips coming out about the rumors surrounding a potential trade to the New York Jets.
J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets!
Oh man, there are so many rumors that have been flying around the New York Jets this offseason. You had the whole Aaron Rodgers in Egypt thing and missing minicamp and not being a really big deal, but the Davante Adams stuff over the course of the last week has been oh so juicy. So I'm very excited to get into this. Let's break down all the video clips that have been coming out, and we can kind of walk through this little by little, and I'll give you my thoughts as to what I think is happening with this situation. But before I do want to say we are having our tickets for our Denver Broncos group by week 4. If you want to come out with us, we're going to go on the field after the game. We got an all-in package, including with Tailgate Joe, so you get food and drink, and oh, it's so much fun. It's a really good time. Myself, 𝐂𝐿𝐼𝐼, and Green Bean. If you want to get your tickets, make sure you get them now because we are almost sold out. But without further ado, let's hop into the videos. I think the first video I want to go into is Davante Adams on the Netflix show Receiver had this comment to say, and this got everyone buzzing.
I gotta get the fuck out of here before I lose my fucking life. I ain't never been hit this many fucking times in my career. Every game I get fucked up.
Now, if I just see that clip, I'm telling you right now, he feels, at least in that point in time, that he wants to get the hell out of Las Vegas. And I can totally understand that. When you're getting cracked left, right, and sideways and your team just isn't winning many games, I would be frustrated too. Heck, I watched the Jets all last year. We all did. And our best players were getting smacked up and down the field, and we just could not win games. Super frustrating, so I know where Davante Adams is coming from in that point in time. Now, I don't think he's going to publicly come out and say, look, I want to get traded off the Raiders, but now that that's out there, I think there's just a ton of speculation. Genie's out of the bottle. You can't stuff him back in, even though you get 3 wishes, he's already out. Cat's out of the bag. Pandora's box, all that good stuff. Then you get Aaron Rodgers dropping this little dime during one of his golf rounds.
What's up?
Do you think Luke Getsey's going to utilize Davante Adams good in the new Raiders offense?
I love Luke Getsey. He's a fantastic coach.
Awesome.
And I love Davante. I can't wait to play with him again.
Great. Love to hear it.
Yeah.
Aaron knows all the right buttons to hit to generate a media whirlwind, and I love it. Just give me all the bits of content that I could possibly talk about. I can't wait to play with Davante Adams again. Oh, come on. Oh, he's teeing this up. He knows what he's doing. Davante Adams and him have been locked in, talking to one another, that we've seen it all offseason, and that's just more confirmation of it. Then Kay Adams started talking to Breece Hall the other day, and Breece Hall adding a little bit of, breadcrumbs to this whole analysis.
You say you're going to be Aaron Rodgers' best friend. I love that you're saying you're going to touch the ball other than him more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Then enter Davante Adams potentially. You're seeing this stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to be competing with touches with Davante?
Nah, I'm getting the ball the second most regardless. Davante, he knows he's gonna get his, but I'm definitely gonna be.
I'm sorry, is Davante a Jet?
Hey, you never know. You never know. We're always talking. We're always scheming.
Listen. Yes, there we go. I said that you actually maybe go all in.
Yeah,
and
I think we should.
make a big addition. You think we should?
I'm on board.
What would Davante bring to the team?
I mean, with him and then with Garrett and Mike Williams.
I was going to say, good thing you mentioned Garrett. I don't know if he likes this stuff.
Yeah, just pick your poison. Do you want me to beat you or do you want those 3 to beat you with Aaron? It's just pick your poison.
Just because some of my takes may stink doesn't mean you guys have to stink, and that's where today's sponsor comes in. Mando reached out and said, Ryan, your team has stunk for a very long time. So bad, in fact, that we think it's starting to rub off on you because we could smell you through the camera. And I said, that is a very aggressive way for me to sponsor your product, but let's hear it a little bit more. They said, look, we're going to send you out a starter pack. Give it a try out. I've been using it for the last few months. I have really, really enjoyed it. I got the Mando Mount Fuji deodorant that I use every day in the morning, and then the rub-on cream deodorant. You could put this on anything. You could put this on your hands. You could put it on your feet, your boobies, your butt crack, your grundle, your fat rolls, literally anywhere on your body. I will tell you my spot of choice. I have a terrible chafing problem in the summer. It just hurts like all hell. It's like roasting chestnuts over an open fire. Throw this stuff on. I am all nice and cool. I have very much appreciated that. It also comes with 2 gifts. I selected the body wash, the bourbon leather body wash. Really like that scent, but I think my favorite free gift is actually the deodorant wipes. I throw this in my to-go bag and I can just freshen up wherever I am. Maybe I'm done with a hot day of filming in here yelling at the camera and just need a little refresh. So I've really enjoyed this. It's really cool. Their products, if you shower and just use soap alone, you get a average odor score of 5 out of 10. With Mando's products, you use that 0 out of 10 after 12 hours. This is absolutely the products that I have thoroughly enjoyed using over the course of the last few months. They have made me switch over. Guys, if you want to get in on this, shopmando.com, promo code JetsTalk. That's shopmando.com, promo code JetsTalk. Going to get you $5 off their starter pack. That's a 40% off savings. Tell them I sent you. Use promo code JetsTalk. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel. Pick your poison. That's what Breece Hall said. These guys are talking all the time. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, these guys recruited Aaron Rodgers here and literally, I just love it. It's nice to see players bringing other players in. That was one of the things that, like, I loved about this young core is there's actually some enthusiasm to get good players here. We never see, our players go out and recruit other players. It's always like, Jets got to pay through the nose to get any free agent here for the longest time. So to see this kind of change is really, really nice. Jets have one of the best rosters in the entire NFL. And if you all of a sudden add Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson is either a 1A or a 1B with Mike Williams, who is one of the best contested catch ball wide receivers in the entire league, with Breece Hall coming out of the backfield, and like Conklin is good in his own right out of the tight end position. There's just so much potential firepower on this team. And Rodgers isn't really going to have to do a crazy ton. He can just sit back there and be the game manager. Just dink and dunk his way all the way to the end zone. It's everything I want it to be. And then we get to hear from Boomer Esiason and some of the stuff he's hearing from inside the New York Jets organization, or maybe some of the sources that he's got or what he thinks is going to be happening. And Boomer's usually pretty solid with some of his thought processes. Let's listen to his clip, and then I'll give you some of my thoughts about where I think he may be right and where he may be wrong.
So the dead cap for the Raiders this year is $40 million.
If they traded him.
Yeah.
No.
So somehow they would have to work this out. I'm hearing that this is going to happen, if it does happen, somewhere in late August, early September.
Really?
Yeah, and the cap hit for him is $25 million.
Why would it take that long?
I'm not sure about why it would take that long, but Davante's never going to come out publicly and say, I want to leave the Raiders. But you do hear in this wide receiver program where he does this, I got to get out of here before I get killed. I mean, he says that, and that leads you to believe, leads the viewer to believe that he wants out of Oakland. But I don't see him saying that publicly. I don't see.
So a few things there. It gets me really excited that Boomer is saying all this stuff. The cap hit is correct. He's got $25 million cap hit this year. In terms of dead cap hit, if traded, that's not actually accurate. If he was traded pre-June 1st, then it would have been a really, really big cap hit because the entire sum of his salary would hit, and that's where that $40 million number is coming from. But post-June 1st, that cap hit gets split over the course of 2 years, so it's actually only going to be about a $25 million cap hit for the Las Vegas Raiders. And then if traded, his contract for the Jets, if they were to get him in the time frame that Esiason is talking about right here, is that $16 million, $17 million range, because that's what his base salary currently is. The signing bonus portion of his contract doesn't actually transfer over in a trade. And then the next 2 years, 2025 and 2026, would have cap hits of $35.6 and $36.6 million. So lots of money at face value, but really not that bad in practice. Now, it could happen before the season because Mike Williams is not actually healthy and may not be 100% at the very beginning of the season, similarly to how we kind of slow-rolled Breece Hall. Hall did start the first game of the season, but we definitely slow-rolled him heading into the season. So I think Mike Williams, being that same time frame, might have a little bit of a slower start to it all. Now, do I think Davante Adams is going to get traded at the beginning of the season? I don't really think that's going to be the case. I don't think the Raiders are going to trade Davante unless Davante makes it known he wants to leave. I think what's more likely to happen is the Raiders going into the season going to try and compete. That's a really good Raiders team over there. I have impressive team. I actually like Gardner Minshew. I don't think he's going to be the quarterback that's going to be able to overcome the division hurdles that they have in that particular division, not to mention just a stacked AFC in general. But I think what's going to happen is the Raiders, I think they're underdogs in 8 of their first 11 games or something along those lines. I think the Raiders are going to wind up losing a bunch of games. And as we get closer to the trade deadline around week 8, I think is where it's sitting right now, 7, 8, whatever the trade deadline is. It's right near the beginning part of November. I think that is when Davante Adams is going to end up getting moved. I think you're going to be in a situation where Davante already knows the offense with Nathaniel Hackett. He knows Aaron Rodgers. He's getting plugged in a team that he doesn't have to be like the immediate focal point right away, because you're going to have Mike Williams, you're going to have Garrett Wilson, you're going to have Breece Hall and all these other weapons on this offense. So he'll be able to kind of, maybe get back up to speed a little bit quicker, but at least know the ins and outs of most of the terminology within this playbook. Now, if he is traded at the trade deadline, like I think is going to wind up happening, it would only be basically a 1 year, about $6, $7, $8 million contract, depending on that time frame that he's traded, because you're only paying him for half a season. And then realistically, you're not going to have him on the roster in 2025 and 2026 at the cap numbers that he currently has, $35 and $36 million. What is more likely to happen is that when they wind up making a trade for him, it'll be contingent on him renegotiating his deal. And I think he aligns it with the 2 year window that we've seen with Aaron Rodgers right now. I think you're going to see a situation where you have Conklin in, I think he reworks his deal. He's going to come back for 2 years. They've already brought back Zuerlein and Morstead for 2 years. Tyrod Taylor is under contract for 2 years. Basically, a lot of the guys that they've started to bring in have worked out to be a 2 year window, and I think that's how they would align Davante Adams as well. So I don't think that current contract is going to look as scary as it will be when he's eventually traded. So yes, I do think Davante Adams is going to be a Jet. Does it happen before the season? That would be cool as hell. I really think that would be awesome. I just don't know if I see the Raiders doing it. What do I think it's going to cost? Look, I've seen trade rumors out there. Oh, the New York Jets could throw a second round pick or something along those lines for Davante Adams. Maybe it would be something conditional, but I think you're probably looking at having to give up a first round pick for Davante. Maybe if the Jets make the playoffs or something, there's going to be some sort of contingency plan in there that's going to be relatively easy to hit, that also protects the Jets in the event that the unthinkable happens, like it did this past year. But then again, if you trade for him at the trade deadline and the Raiders know they're going to lose him anyway, then you could probably get him for a little bit lower. Wide receivers, once they're over the age of 30 years old, don't generally get a crazy ton back in terms of trade compensation. I mean, Tyreek Hill went for 2 second-round picks, but he was way younger at the time. So I really think there's a good shot that the Jets are going to get him for not a crazy, crazy ton, or at least it'll be a good trade given where the Jets are as far as successfulness within this season. So I'm freaking pumped about it. I can't wait. Guys, I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments section. Is Davante Adams going to be a New York Jet? Make sure you get your tickets for our Jets Broncos ticket extravaganza for week 4 of the NFL season. We're excited to have you guys out there. We're going to get on the field after the game. Tickets on sale, talkingjets.com. Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets.
Jets! Jets!